and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Yesterday, it'll be at least 18 innings today on a hot, steamy Sunday afternoon. It is time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday Game of the Week. And today, it's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the first game of a day-night doubleheader from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with John Flaherty and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees got a much-needed win last night, 4-1. It took them 16 innings and 5 hours and 50 minutes of playing time. So, John, please recap it.
Yeah, it was a long day at the office yesterday, obviously, for the New York Yankees, but they ended up winning that game yesterday afternoon for Matt Holliday in the top of the ninth against Kimbrel, who's been dominant at Fenway Park. That is his 16th home run of the year, and that ties it up when we go to extra innings. Much later on last night, during that ball game, Didi Gregorius, who's been struggling, comes up with a huge base hit. That drives in Ellsbury. The Yankees were able to add on, and they were able to walk out of here with a very impressive win.
All right, so now they've got a doubleheader to play. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup for the first game, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. The reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League, Rick Porcello, will get the start for the Red Sox. And for the Yankees, it's the veteran lefty, CC Sabathia. Now, he was not originally scheduled to start this game.
No, he wasn't. CC Sabathia was scheduled for tomorrow in Minnesota, but I think you'll listen to it. 16 innings that were played last night. Brian Mitchell is going to be used potentially in this doubleheader. I think with CC going out, and we saw him in the bullpen last night, who didn't pick up a ball, certainly capable and is going to come back sooner. I like the way that the fact that CC's more of a pitcher. He's done well. His last start against Boston at Yankee Stadium, he went 8 innings, 5 hits and no runs.
Well, it should be interesting. All rise for this doubleheader. The judges are in town, and Aaron Judge is in the lineup. When we get back, the entire lineup's first pitch, Yankees Red Sox, right here on Yes. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com. By NYA Langone Orthopedics. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. That's what the Yankees and the Red Sox are doing. Here at Fenway Park, another sellout crowd expected. First game of a day-night doubleheader. So why don't we take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which will face Rick Porcello, and it's presented by Lexus. Yankees 46 and 42 lead off their center fielder Brett Gardner. Third baseman Chase Headley bats second. Hitting third, right fielder Aaron Judge. Matt Holliday will DH. He'll clean up. Batting fifth, the shortstop Didi Gregorius. Clint Frazier's in left field. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and catching Austin Romine. G-Man Choi at first base bats eighth. And batting ninth and playing second base, it's Ronald Torreyes.
And that lineup will be facing Rick Porcello, New Jersey native from Morristown, New Jersey. Seton Hall Prep alum, #1 pick by the Tigers. You see the record, not very good. The 4.75 ERA, the 147 hits to the 119 in the third, not good. Let's take a look at the pitcher scout report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Yeah, I mentioned Cy Off. Well, last year, folks, he was the Cy Young Award winner in the American League, 22-4 with a 3.15. This year, he's been struggling. Good against the Yankees here at Fenway, 2-2 with a 1.52 ERA, very respectable in the 29 innings, only a 198 batting average against. And he's a strike thrower, awful lot of strikes in 13 starts this year. He's either walked 1 or 0 batters. It's the second most in the American League.
So the Yankees come into this game in third place at 46-42 behind Tampa Bay at 49-43, and Boston 51-40 leads the American League East. Gardner really takes his time when he leads off, especially on the road. Very complicated series of adjustments in the box, and now he's ready. And Porcello is ready. Let's do it here at Fenway. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Gabe Morales is the home plate umpire. Ramon De Jesus at first. Eric Cooper at second. Gary Cederstrom is over at third. Tap back to Porcello. One away. Now let's take a look at the Red Sox defense presented by Geico. You've got Benintendi in left, Bradley in center, and Betts over and right. It's the killer bees in the outfield. In the infield is Marrero, Bogarts, Lynn, and Travis. Third to first, Leon behind the plate. And on the mound, it's Rick Porcello.
Well, Al, you talked about the numbers for Porcello. Not great, but he's pretty much guaranteed to give you 6 innings every time out there. He's done that his last 16 starts.
You know, he's healthy. He gives you a lot of innings, as you say, John. And I think really watching him evolve over the years from the Tigers and obviously the Cy Young Award win year last year, pitches like that, 77-mile-an-hour changeup. He will throw everything. He's got a four-seamer, sinker, curve, slider, and change. Changeup he uses infrequently. There, we just saw one there. He throws it about 10% of the time. He pitches, and he's healthy. He's been healthy in his career.
Line drive, a base hit for Headley. Headley was 2 for 7 last night, but he got hits in his last 2 times up. Once in the 14th and once in the 16th when the Yankees scored 3 runs to win 4-1. So a base hit for Headley with 1 out. That'll bring up Judge. Aaron Judge was 0 for 6 in yesterday's game, but he did walk twice and was caught stealing, so an active day for Judge. And there's a strike. And Aaron was 0 for 3 on Friday night with a walk, so 0 for 9 in the series. He has reached base safely in 41 straight starts, and that dates back to May 28th, either a hit or a walk.
Well, it's been noticeable the Red Sox have tried to pitch Aaron Judge up in the strike zone, tried to pitch him inside a little bit more than we've seen from other clubs. And Porcello will elevate the fastball since he's come to Boston. He was predominantly a sinker ball pitcher. He's kind of changed everything. We'll see how he attacks Aaron Judge this afternoon.
You know, John, we talked about it in the first 2 games of the series, and Drew Pomerantz, who's pitched on Friday. You know, a lot of elevated fastballs. And, you know, listen, I know that the scout report guys look at iPads and they watch their bats even during the game. Forget about after the game. Part of the MO for this pitching staff is to attack and go upstairs. How many times did we see last night and even Friday? And it didn't have to be the 95 to 100 mile an hour guy that elevates. And you make a good point. Porcello always historically has been more of a sinker slider type pitcher.
1-2. 2-2. Another beautiful day here in Boston. Puffy clouds overhead. being highlighted by the light blue sky behind. Kind of a picture postcard sort of day at Fenway Park. Two. Let's look at the game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. 81 degrees, humidity 56%. The wind is 8 miles per hour. It's a beautiful day. Indeed, let's play 2.
You know what? I just watched Aaron Judge's last swing, and he had a pitch really to do some damage with, and he fouled it off. And you start thinking about him recently, slow down a little bit. And, you know, it's understandable. Off to a great start, but he's getting some pitches to hit, and he's either fouling them off or missing them.
Throws his head back in frustration there as he fouled it off.
So I guess my point is there's a lot going on. I mean, they're changing up the way they're pitching to him, but also when he gets his pitch, he's not drilling it like he did the first half.
And it seems to me, John, that he's swinging at more pitches off the plate a little, right? I mean, that's the MO of pitching and hitting. You know, if you can, as a hitter, only swing at pitches that you can cover or at least strikes. Take your walks if a pitcher's going to pitch around you.
We've seen a lot of foul balls to the right side from Aaron Judge in these 3 games.
Could that be pulling off a little bit, getting pull happy?
I think the front hip is leaving just a little bit earlier than we saw in the first half, and that's going to make you just maybe a little bit late, a little bit behind, a little bit underneath. Like that slider this is a nasty pitch. It's actually a good job of hitting just to try to foul it off, but you watch the front, well, maybe not as nasty as I thought. Aaron Judge has been doing damage on a lot of pitches like that in the first half, but the front hip just leaving a little earlier.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Judge down on strikes. And that's going to bring up Matt Holliday and brings us to the Jeep hitter scatter report on the Yankee DH.
Well, we think to yesterday afternoon for Matt Holliday and that game-tying home run off of Kimbrel. That was his 311th home run of his career, tying him with Pudge Rodriguez, and it's the 4th time in his career that he's hit a tying home run in the 9th inning or later on, and that saved that streak for the Yankees. Obviously, they won the game, but they did not get shut out because of that home run, the 88th game that has happened this year.
Such a weird game yesterday that goes into the night, but I look at the box score and I keep looking at it. I mean, it was a pitcher's duel. I mean, for 13 innings, you talk about Yankee pitching holding the Red Sox down. They scored in the 3rd inning. It was based on a couple walks that Severino got in a little trouble. Sale was fantastic. They didn't have one extra base, the Red Sox. Think of that here at Fenway.
16 innings.
16 innings.
1-1. 1-2.
You know, you look at some of the numbers for the Red Sox offensively this year. They're not hitting as many home runs. They're still scoring runs, but the Yankees have really done a good job handling them this year. And I mean, to your point, Al, what they did yesterday for 16 innings, kind of giving the Yankee lineup a chance to do something in the 16th inning. But it's a lineup that you don't feel for the Red Sox has those boppers in the middle that it's going to be high-scoring affairs here at Fenway.
One-two. Swing and a miss. Holliday down on strikes. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Yankees nothing. Boston Red Sox coming to bat.
It's got a lot of other stuff, but
CC Sabathia. Benson right, Xander Bogaerts at short, Andrew Benintendi in left. Cleaning up the DH, Chris Young, Sam Travis at first base from about 5th. Batting 6th, playing center field, Jackie Bradley Jr. Devin Marrero, the third baseman, he'll bat 7th. Batting 8th and catching, Sandy Leon. And Zue Lin at the second baseman will bat 9th.
And the veteran CC Sabathia be making his 15th start. This is game 1 of this doubleheader. As we said in the open, Brian Mitchell was scheduled, but that long outing, 16 innings, put Brian Mitchell in the pen. And here we got CC. What a year, really. Came back from DL, he had a hamstring injury. You see the good numbers. Let's take a look at the pitcher scout report if I can get this in. Michael K. 10 from Cy Young, and lifetime in strikeouts for left-handers. He's got 2,789. Cy Young has 2,799. 497th start today. I will tell you after this pitch. That will pass Mickey Lolich for career starts for left-handed pitchers. Andy Pettit's 13th at 521. And just simply better pitcher. I mean, he's now evolved as a pitcher. Uses all of his pitches. Conscious of location. Not a guy, and I know it seems like we're a broken record doing Yankee telecasts because he's not the guy that used to throw 95, but Flash, I kind of like it. I mean, everybody loves 95 to 100, but when he's on, it's fun to watch as far as I'm concerned.
1-1. 2-1. Yankees are also 10-4 in Sabathia's starts, which is pretty darn good. And he can give them about 95 pitches today. Second game starting off the DL. Yankees made some roster moves before the game. As a reward for pitching so well in the victory yesterday, Ben Heller and Jonathan Holder were sent down to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and you knew that would happen. And the 3-1. There's a strike. So Heller and Holder go down. Mitchell called up. Domingo Germán called up. Caleb Smith will make his major league debut if he gets into the game. And Michael Pineda was transferred to the 60-day DL with the partial tear of the UCL. So you can have 26 men on your roster for a doubleheader. So one of the moves was that. And Mitchell lurks in the bullpen when he was supposed to start this game. So an inauspicious start for Sabathia as he walks Betts. And that brings up Bogaerts.
Yeah, you talked about Sabathia and how he's got a different pitcher now. And if you're Austin Romine, who's obviously catching this game, Sanchez caught all 16 innings last night. So Romine gets a start in the first one. But you have to think along with Sabathia now. You know, does he want to cut it in, cut it away, sinker, change up? And obviously with the bullpen usage last night, the long game, you want him to pound the strike zone early and kind of keep this game moving. Give the Yankees as many innings as he can.
Well, it was only about a month ago. 8 innings at the stadium, an 8-0 win. Only 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks. CC puts the gem. And I think really the unique part of watching a guy like CC Sabathia, who's been doing it for a long time, is the whole cat and mouse of changing up. Meaning different pitches, even fastballs. We're going to watch here different fastballs would be from 88 to 92. He changes speeds on his breaking ball. He throws a cutter. He throws a curveball. Some of his curveballs look like slurves. That's not by accident. That's by design. That backdoor, kind of what Andy Pettit did at the end of his career, opening the plate up.
2-2. Betts leads off first. Foul ball. I don't think that you can emphasize enough how big that win was for the Yankees. This is a season that kind of on the precipice of spiraling out of control, where they've lost a lot of games, painful games. Friday was very, very difficult to take. And for them to rise up and win that game, that was pretty big, Al.
Huge. I mean, you set it up perfectly, Michael. I mean, you can't say enough about it. Here at Fenway against the rival, the team that was picked to win the division, at least on paper, out of spring training. And look, you know, they're a couple weeks away from the non-waiver trade deadline. A lot of clubs are figuring out who's buying, who's selling, how much do we give up on prospects, which prospects if we are buying.
Runner goes, 3-2 is outside. So 2 straight walks to open up the first inning by Sabathia. Take a look at the Yankees defense behind Sabathia, and they haven't been able to do anything because he's walked the first 2 batters. It's presented by Geico. You've got Frazier in left, Gardner in center, and Judge over in right. In the infield, Headley, Gregorius, Torreyes, and Choi is third to first. Romine's behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. And here is Andrew Benintendi. There's one, and that's all they'll get. Wasn't hit hard enough. So Betts moves to third.
I think back to that win again last night. Chris Sale was so dominant early in that game. The Matt Holliday home run obviously extends it to extra innings, but you wake up this morning, you're Brett Gardner, and you played all 16. Headley, you played all 16. Aaron Judge, you played all 16. You're going to be sore, but obviously feeling a whole lot better coming away with a W and trying to take this first game. But you think back to your playing days, Alan. You know, you were a pitcher, so it's a little different. But the everyday guys that play a game that long, and then you have the quick turnaround coming back for a day game the next day, you're going to feel that physically. We'll see how they react today. Obviously, Girardi has a roster he's got to juggle a little bit with 2 games today. It'll be a challenge for him.
You know, and as I'm thinking, and Michael, you said how big a win that was for the Yankees. I mean, Craig Kimbrell was on the mound yesterday. I keep saying last night. They had the win in their hands. Matt Holliday ruined it. 16 innings later, they got the loss. There's also, watch as this moves along the next couple weeks. That's a heartbreak loss.
Sure.
And the Red Sox haven't been, you know, blowing everybody away. I mean, they struggled early on. They're playing better now.
The Yankees felt a heartbreak loss Friday night, right?
Yeah.
Red Sox felt it yesterday.
Can they turn 2? Oh, yes, they can. And Sabathia works out of trouble. A 4-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the second. 0-0. Brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. What's the longest baseball game by innings you've ever attended and stayed for entirely? Colby Mark, 2 said 18-inning game at the Cubs this year. It was a blast. Most intense game I've ever been at. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime. Keep the conversation going. There's a strike to Didi Gregorius.
Want to know the longest game that I watched?
Yeah.
19 innings. Red Sox against the Indians at the old Municipal Stadium. My rookie year before my major league debut. And Tony Pena caught all 19 innings.
And was ready to go the next day.
And he caught the second game of a doubleheader the next day.
Wow.
I caught the first game on major league debut. Tony decided he was going to catch Roger Clemens. And he gave me Matt Young. Thanks,
you
Tony.
gave Matt Young a no-hitter.
And lost. But I felt so bad watching that man. I'm sitting there as a rookie. I'm 24 years old. And I can't wait. I'm going to get in this game, right? Yeah. It's extra innings. He went all 19.
He didn't know it was a... Hey, no John Flaherty. I'd have stayed in this. Wait a minute. What's the no-hitter?
So he threw a no-hitter and lost. He threw 8 innings. My first major league game.
Kenny Lofton plays a role in this, too.
A big role.
Swing and a miss. Gregorius down on strikes, so 3 strikeouts for Porcello.
So, Al, it's quite a story. People say, tell me about your major league debut. I hit a double my first at bat, right? That's the good news.
Great.
Lost the game. Caught a no-hitter. That's good news, too, right? Lost the game. 6 stolen bases against me. Matt Young couldn't throw the ball to first base. So Kenny Lofton was leading off, and we said, just don't walk him. Right, 4 pitches, he walks him. Kenny steals second, steals third, ground ball to short, 1-0. Next time Lofton comes up again, we walk him 4 straight again. Steals second, steals third. We lost 2-1 or 3-2, something like that. 8 innings of no-hit ball. I think he walked maybe 6.
Really? 6
stolen bases. So there was some good news and a lot of bad news in there.
Catch a no-hitter. That's no-hitter loss. That's Andy Hawkins.
Grounded up the middle, a base hit for Clint Frazier. Now yesterday, 16 innings, and here's some stats. We told you 5 hours and 50 minutes, 40 players used, 16 pitchers used, a total of 512 pitches, and it's the longest Yankee Red Sox game at Fenway since June 4th of 1966. Also, a 16-inning outing. And little 5-year-old Michael Kay watched every inning of that game in '66.
He did not.
How do you know?
How do you don't remember that?
I don't remember anything past like a year ago.
Yesterday.
Here's Romine.
I mean, of those numbers we just showed, I still can't get over in the 16 innings, not 1 extra base hit by the Red Sox. And of the 9 hits the Yankees had, 5 of them were from the 14th inning and on. 4 in that big 16th.
Now here's some interesting stats about playing 16 innings and then playing a doubleheader. This is the Yankees' first doubleheader following a 16-inning game since 1927. Now it's somewhat skewed because they don't play doubleheaders that often anymore. But get this, on September 6th of 1927, they played 18 innings in the first game of a doubleheader. Then they played 9. And then on September 6th, so September 5th was the 18-inning game 1. Then they played a second game. And then another doubleheader on September 6th. And they got it done.
Well, that was when starting pitchers went about 10, 11, or 12, right?
Oh, yeah. They started and finished.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing Babe probably didn't sit down the second game of each doubleheader. One, 2-1. It's also last night or yesterday only the second time in Yankee history they allowed 1 or no runs in a game of 16 or more innings. The only other time was 1964. They beat the White Sox 2-1 in 17 innings. 2-2.
The beauty of baseball, right? Statistics, filter them, go back to 1927 and recite stats, numbers, and players. I said Porcello, he pounds his own. I mean, the Yankee hitters, be ready for strikes. I mentioned 13 of his starts this year, of the 19, either 0 or 1 walk.
There's strike 3.
That's a give-up fastball. Romine fighting with those high fastballs upstairs. Now watch this. This is two-seam. It'll come back over the plate. That's a beautiful pitch. Over the years, Greg Maddux and others, Mike Mussina, see, he just gives up. It looks like it's going to actually be outside 3 or 4 inches. Nice pitch.
That's what you remember Rick Porcello, Detroit Tigers, right? Sinker, slider. Completely changed his game. Probably added to his game now.
The pitch to Choi is outside. There's a strike. One and two. Just 2 hits for G-Man Choi, and those were the 2 home runs that you saw. At Scranton Wilkes-Barre, he had 289, 8 homers, and 43 runs batted in. Clint Frazier remains at first, held there by Sam Travis. Washington Nationals have improved their bullpen with a trade. They've picked up Sean Doolittle and Ryan Madsen from the A's for pitcher Blake Trinan, infielder Sheldon Noose, and left-handed pitcher Jesus Luzardo.
Wow. Blake Trinan, they just gave up, I guess. I mean, you talk about a bowling ball sinker.
1-2. There's a base hit for Choi. Frazier around second. He'll go to third. And the Yankees have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Well, you mentioned Choi with those 2 home runs. Now he mixes in his first Yankee single. Porcello just kept coming right at him with those good fastballs, and he tries to bring that 2-seamer back to the inside corner. It just leaks out over the plate a little bit more than he wanted to, and Choi was ready for it. Frazier just gets out of the way, has a little trouble getting to second base, and then kicks it into another gear all the way to third.
So here's Ronald Torreyes. He was 0 for 6 in last night's game, also bunted into a double play. Nice block there by Leon.
Well, you mentioned that 0 for 6, and we talk about the Red Sox pitching to Aaron Judge, and obviously Torreyes more of a bench player, but The word has gotten out now. Don't throw this guy a first pitch fastball. It's been all off speed early in counts to Torreyes. He's kind of had a rough weekend here. A couple of errors, you know, just things that we're not used to seeing. It was Carl Willis, pitching coach for the Red Sox. Torreyes, such a fundamentally sound player, having trouble with the bunt, a few errors. If he can rebound in the first game of this doubleheader.
Yeah, 1 for 9 in the 2 games, and John mentioned the 2 errors as well. Inability to get down a bunt. (1-0). 1-1.
You know, for good fastball hitters, you see Porcello, and you make a good point, John, with Torreyes, little guy, but he'll hammer a heater, a couple sliders, and the slider, unlike the curveball out of the hand, it looks like a fastball, and that's why you get swings like Torreyes just did there.
Almost looked like a cutter. It was so short.
There it is again. I mean, and not only is it cutting or have that slider tilt, I mean, it's perfect. Well, look at the location here. Mercedes-Benz Yesmo. See Sandy Leon. Now it's looking like a heater. It's got a little bit of that cut spin as Mariano made a career of, but really location, very impressive.
Popped up, shallow right center, and Bradley calls everybody off to make the play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Nothing. Thursday night, July 27th, with the first 10,000 guests in attendance, receiving Yankees replica batting practice pullover courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Now we go to the second inning. Nothing. Red Sox had first and second. Nobody out in the first. Sabathia got out of it. In this series, the Red Sox are 2 for 21 with runners in scoring position. And this season, the Red Sox are 2 for 42. That's 0-48 with runners in scoring position against the Yankees.
Yeah, like we were talking about before, it just feels like the Yankees have done a nice job against their lineup, especially in the big situations, runners on base.
Line drive, fair ball. It'll go into the corner and up against the monster. Frazier will field. And he gets the ball in. A leadoff double for Sam Travis.
Well, Sabathia has done such a good job against the right-handed hitters with the cut fastball this year, trying to get in there. This looked more like a four-seam up and in at about 91. Travis was able to beat him. Not only get there, but the ability to keep it fair. Interested to see Clint Frazier playing the Green Monster here this afternoon. Had an opportunity for a few innings last night. Obviously, a easy double for Travis.
I tell you what, not seeing a whole lot of at bats from Sam Travis. His 42nd at bat this year. That's going to go in the memory bank for CC. That was a good pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned, John, to keep it fair. Ball was boring in on his hands. Pretty quick inside.
There's a strike. There's always been a history between Bradley and Sabathia. Never really been able to get to the bottom of it, but CC has barked some things at Bradley. And even Bradley seems befuddled, but this is ever since Bradley's come up. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any backstory to it, and you really can't find out what it is, but it doesn't seem like he likes him very much.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you bring it up, I do remember that. Well, this would be their 24th at bat facing each other. Bradley's bat 217.
Yankee defense had him play beautifully as Gregorius makes the play and Travis moves to third.
Bradley going to get some congratulations in his dugout. A nice job of situational hitting, pulling a ground ball to the right side. Travis advances to third.
Here's Marrero. And a strike. Yankees bring the infield in. Oh, and 2.
You got two pitches right here. You CC thinking strikeout, of course, with a runner at third, less than 2 outs. Marrero, good fastball hitter. And trust, if you throw a breaking ball, Austin Romine's going to block it. You got two pitches here, something down action. No backdoor slider here.
Gabe Morales behind the plate. See Romine setting up middle, has to reach a little bit, maybe came around the plate. Perfect pitch, 0-2, right?
Total a little lower.
1-2. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2. Right back to Sabathia. He's coming home. Out at the plate is Travis. Nice play by Sabathia. 2 away.
Well done by CC. Watch here, a little breaking ball. Marrero tops it. CC turns quickly. Nice play all the way around. Romine putting the tag on Travis here. Look at there, reaching out. I don't know if he'd have been safe if Didi had to make that play all the way. Watch here. Now he turns open, but knowing that he's got a chance to negate the run there. Well done.
First thing I thought it was the hamstring injury, right, where you're jumping off the mound. Maybe that's a little uncomfortable. Looks like he's 100% fine, but How many pitchers do you see make that play athletically, but then airmail the throw coming back, right? Sabathia took care of it all. Great play.
Leon takes outside and upstairs 1-0.
I mean, what a good feeling, John. You're on the mound, you get ahead, you're thinking punch out or infield pop up, and then you get the comebacker. You know, there's almost like you made the point, like make the play and then, you know, maybe a bad throw, and you're so jacked that, okay, just firm strike to Romine and we got him. Big boost.
Well, you have to get the feeling right. Okay, maybe today is my day.
Pitch is high, throw to second. Stolen base for Devin Marrero.
It's his 4th on the year, hasn't been thrown out. He just had a great jump on Sabathia right there, went first move. No chance for Austin Romine here. Good throw, but obviously late. But I get back to Sabathia. When you make that athletic play, Al, and you're like, you know what, that could have been over my head. 1 run in, I made a good pitch, and I have nothing to show for it. On the flip side, make a great play, get the out at home. Still trying to keep the Red Sox off the board.
And Leon walks.
Yeah, 4-pitch walk.
3rd walk for Sabathia. Here's Lynn. And a strike.
Lynn doesn't have many at bats against left-handers. Mostly against right-handed pitching. Actually, only 4 at bats. It's 2 for 4.
Grounded to first. Add another 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position for the Red Sox. And against the Yankees this year, 2 for 45. 0-0. We go to the 3rd. One mobile app for live Yankees baseball. Stay connected with a fully customized experience. Get Yankees home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Refreshing lemonade on a Sunday afternoon at the ballpark. Have some. Brett Gardner leads off. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Did you guys realize that today is National Ice Cream Day?
I did not.
Yeah. So if you guys would like some, I'll order some for the booth.
Yeah, it is nice of you. Is it really?
Yeah.
You going to expense it?
No, this is definitely from me.
Wow. You okay?
Yeah, I feel great.
National Ice Cream Day.
Who doesn't like ice cream? Except somebody that might be lactose intolerant. Grounded foul. Gardner tapped back to the mound in the first inning. And Porcello deals. 2-2. Porcello 4-11, but 7 of his losses have come with quality starts, which is the most of any pitcher in baseball. That's considered somewhat of a hard luck loss. Grounded up the middle. Lynn is there. He gets Gardner. And his ERA in those games, 2.54.
Well, last year, Mike, when he won the Cy Young, I mean, you know, that was one part of it. He was on the other end of it because I think he had some of the best run support in the game with that terrific season that he had, and 22-4, eventual Cy Young Award winner.
You know, it's funny. You look at the numbers, and I talked to the Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley today, and about Porcello, and he's like glowing. I love the way he pitches. And then you look a little deeper into the numbers and the quality starts, and going deep into ball games. And I guess sometimes the win-loss record and the ERA doesn't tell you the whole story.
You know, I think there's certain pitchers, and Porcello, now that he has that trophy on his mantle, you look at him maybe in a different light, but he's the type of guy that truly is a pitcher. We're enamored with the plus fastball guys, but here we're watching right now. He's throwing 4 different pitches at any time in the count. There's a changeup, fastball, slider that at times it looked like a cutter, big curveball, changeup, and 2 types of fastballs. So I guess my point is that you appreciate the art and craft of pitching, and I think Porcello's there.
Is the perception from the pitcher, like say Rick Porcello, what, he has 4 wins this year?
Yes.
Did the wins now not mean as much?
Headley into left field, another base hit for Chase Headley. 2 for 2.
To a pitcher, because I related to a hitter. Your batting average was basically who you were back in the day. Same thing with a pitcher back in the day, right? If you won 15 games, I had a great year. Now I think that perception's changing. Maybe not in his mind, though. Porcello.
That is a great point that you're making, and I think where we are in the evolution of sabermetrics and the computer, generation of statistics at uber levels, I think you find solace somewhere. If you're not getting wins, where does it look good? Where do I put my head on the pillow and feel good about it? I still think it's about wins. I don't care what the sabermetric world says. I get it. It's not always indicative as to how you pitch, as to whether you get a win or a loss. I get it. But at the end of the day, most of the time, what kind of year do you have?
How many wins?
How many wins?
Are you trying to pick a fight with your colleague at MLB, Brian Kenny? Is that what you're trying to do?
I do it all the time, and I love it. He's a good guy, but it's good. It's a good debate, because the sabermetric world thinks that it's dumb. A pitcher shouldn't have a win or a loss. I think it's a terrific carrot, and unless you stood on the mound and it mattered to you, that's a carrot to go an extra inning and want to go deep in the game.
1-1.
As opposed to, I talked to a lot of minor league pitchers, and I said, "How did you do?" "I hit 95. I got my work in. I got my pitches in." Like, what does that mean? Did you Did you win? Did you go deep? Did you give your team a chance to win? I got my work in, I got my pitches in, and I hit 95.
Well, I was going to ask you, Rick Porcello has thrown over 6 innings in his last 16 starts. Is that where he takes solace?
Yes.
Going deep into games.
Yes.
Consistent.
What's an ace to you?
I win that day.
You win. You feel good about that day, but also too, I know guys in the pen when they say who's pitching, oh good, it's pick your guy, Roger, Messina, whatever.
I get the night off. I get the night off.
Got the night off. This might be hopefully 7, 8 innings handed over to our closer. That's your ace.
Well, you see a lot of frustration on the part of Aaron Judge. We have not seen that in the first half. He keeps, as we mentioned in his last at bat, fouling balls off to the right side and kind of spun the bat in frustration after that. So he knows he's missing pitches that for most of the season he's been driving.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, that's what John made referring to it this series. This ball here, you look, is kind of hip is out, and that ball's plate coverage. It's not off the plate. That was actually a strike.
Grounded to second. There's one. And the scoop by Travis. There's 2. As Judge bangs into a 4-6-3 double play. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the 3rd. 0-0 right here on Yes. Unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. How about cycles this year? Cody Bellinger had one last night. Rookie for the Dodgers having a dream season. Nolan Arenado, Carlos Gomez, Trey Turner, and Will Myers. Most cycles in a season since 2009 when there are 8. So about half of a season to go, and we're at 5.
And the cycle is harder to do than a no-hitter. And here we are with 5.
Look at that ice cream on National Ice Cream Day.
Did you buy him that ice cream? Sent it out to
I
him?
don't even know the kid. Why would I buy him anything?
Yeah, the true colors are coming out now.
Now, this is a funny behind-the-scenes thing. So I started talking about how it was National Ice Cream Day, right? So John Moore, our director, asked all the cameramen working, get a shot of a kid eating. Could not, last inning, find one person eating ice cream at the ballpark on National Ice Cream Day. They couldn't find one. That was the first kid they just located. The 0-2. 1-2. So they say that the cycle is tougher
Yes.
than a no-hitter.
There's less.
You buy that? You've pitched a no-hitter. You've never hit for a cycle.
Well,
So I guess it's true with you. Grounded to third. Headley.
I mean, the statistics draw, that's the conclusion, right? Over however many years we've been watching this, or statistics have been recorded, there's more no-hitters than cycles.
Just to get 4 hits in a game.
Yeah.
Did you ever come one short, John, of a cycle?
I'm sure I only had like 2 triples my whole career. I mean, the triple was obviously the toughest one.
That was the one Bellinger's last at bat, got the triple. But I'll ask you guys this. Why does it not seem so glorious to me? Like a no-hitter is a big deal, right? Everybody stop, they go on, live, 7th inning on. Oh my God, he's got no hitter. Cycle? It's a bigger deal statistically.
That one's popped up. Reyes makes a play. Now, I'm probably going to get myself into a tangle of words, but there are 18 guys each game that they have an opportunity to hit for the cycle. There's only 2 pitchers. So, I mean, even if it's close, I would say it's tougher to have the no-hitter than it is to have the, so many more people have a chance to hit a cycle.
Just shows you how hard it is to hit a round ball with a round bat square 4 times.
But maybe I'm proving the point that they make, because there are more people and there aren't that many cycles, and there are only 2 pitchers a day that have a chance to make, but 18 batters have a chance to do it.
What?
I don't even know what I said.
You know what, Al, you were bringing up, though, young pitchers who throw 95, right? They're concerned about their velocity. How about Bellinger and the way he swings the bat? I mean, it is violent. It is get the ball up in the air. It's completely. I guess my point is we're seeing young hitters come up now. Don't worry about striking out. Swing as hard as you can and get the ball up in the air and try to hit home runs. Totally different style. Kind of dig it, though. He's fun to watch swing the bat.
Benintendi. High pop-up. Reyes calls off Choi, and that'll do it as CeCe works a 1-2-3 3rd inning. We're going to sit down and try to figure out what I just tried to say as we go to the 4th inning. Nothing. Fenway, 0-0 on the Audi scoreboard, and Matt Holliday will lead off against Rick Porcello. Swing and a miss.
There's that cutter, John. Backed up, middle of the plate. And Holiday's first at bat, he saw 4 fastballs, struck out, swinging through it. Porcello starts off with a cutter.
Porcello had the rare exacta last year. MLB.com named him the comeback player of the year. The writers voted him the Cy Young Award. He beat out Verlander and Kluber for that award. And Holiday down on strikes.
And he kind of shows you everything, right? If you think about Holiday's at bat right there, a little two-seamer on his hands at 88 beat him. And then he comes back on the outer half at 92, 93. Good location, a little hop on the fastball, and right by Matt Holliday.
Former first-round draft pick of the Tigers out of Seton Hall Prep. They took him with the 27th pick of the first round. He had committed to University of North Carolina.
And represented by Scott Boras, he was supposed to be. He was terrific out of high school. I heard amazing things. The guy throwing 95 to 100.
A lot of people thought that maybe he should not have won the Cy Young Award last year, that Verlander should have. Porcello had 8 first-place votes, and Verlander had 14.
You mean like Kate Upton?
She probably was upset, yeah. I think she voiced her opinion.
She did.
How did Porcello look back at Seton Hall Prep? Oh, he's just locked in.
Not much different, right? He did a nice thing for Seton Hall Prep recently. Donated significant money to their program.
Saw
in
that.
the field, and really giving back to where it started for him.
Here's Clint Frazier. Grounded to short. Booted by Bogarts. Everybody's safe. E6.
Clint Frazier got jammed a little bit, but I think Bogarts kind of let this play him. He was on his heels a little bit, off the heel of his glove. Not going to turn 2 anyway. Probably should have been a little more aggressive coming to get that sure out at second base. And you see the two-seamer in on the hands of Clint Frazier, gets jammed.
We've seen some like kind of squirrely spinning ground balls, right? We all know Torres had a tough time these first 2 games. Some balls at third base, guys getting handcuffed.
And I don't know if it's different now. I'm sure it is, but Fenway Park had a bad reputation from the infielder's standpoint when we used to come here back in the day. Just infielders didn't like the way it played, and not making any excuses. Bogarts plays here every day or every home game.
Romine fouls it back.
Well, anytime an infielder backs up slightly, there's going to be trouble. It looked like, he was in double play depth. Bogarts was, and he kind of backed up a little. Not good.
One and one.
Well, you can think along with Porcello right here, first and second, 1 out. You have Austin Romine, a catcher, hitting. Run that fastball in on his hands, try to get a ground ball. You throw that little slider down and away, try to get a ground ball. The Yankees just got a gift right there with the error by Bogarts. See if they can take advantage.
Past the diving Bogarts into left field. Gregorius will stop at third, held up by Joe Espada. Benintendi has a good arm, and he fielded the ball in shallow left field. So the Yankees have the bases loaded, 1 out.
For Joe Espada, that's obviously part of the decision-making process. Fenway Park, Benintendi playing shallow, has a good throwing arm. You're thinking, you know what, I don't know if I want to take a chance right here at this point in the game. Romine comes through, gets his base hit. Didi right at third when Benintendi got there, and Espada way down the line holding him up. Throw looked like it was offline, but I think it was a good decision.
Yeah, that was an early stop sign by Joey Espada.
Here's Choi, bases loaded, 1 out. Singled his first time up. Curveball inside, 1-0. And Leon will go out and talk with Porcello. And the pitch. There's a strike.
That's a good pitch. You come back with a 1-0 after your first pitch curveball. Saw what Choi did in his first at bat with a heater, pulled it borderline down. It's not where he catches it. Sandy Leon pulling the glove up, but that had some downward action.
Fly ball left field. Tagging is Gregorius. Catch is made by Benintendi, and the throw is cut off. It's a sac fly for Choi, and the Yankees are on the board. They lead 1-0.
Well, the Yankees looking for any offensive production out of first base. It has been a rough go for first baseman this year. Choi, who pulled a base hit his first at bat between first and second, just staying on this one, going the other way.
There's Torreyes, pitch outside. Foul back.
Torreyes with that unique stance with his hands in the middle of his body. You can see just an approach to go right center. Does a nice job, especially with the ball up. Tries to go to right center field. Not trying to do a whole lot. Takes advantage of elevated pitches.
Well, the guy just got that foul ball. 2-2. I mean, that kid looked like he came out of a Norman Rockwell painting.
Hey, Bugsy.
Outstanding. Line drive, base hit to left field. Here comes Frazier. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. He's in there. An RBI single for Torreyes. 2-0 Yanks.
Well, obviously, Joe Espada with 2 outs at third base, coach, a lot more aggressive, and Benintendi had a little time to regroup and make sure he delivered a good throw, and it wasn't bad. Up the line a little bit. Leon kind of hanging back. Good slide by Clint Frazier going to the front side of the play. Watch Brett Gardner showing him exactly where to slide. Good play all the way around.
Yeah, that's a great shot right there. The help from the guy on deck Leon, I don't know if he was set up in the wrong spot.
He's definitely set up back, but I think he was because of the hop on the throw. He didn't want to get a short hop. He wanted to get a good hop, but because of that, he was so far back, gave Frazier the opportunity to go to the front side of home plate.
Well, he's fortunate that his left heel just came down on the plate because his right leg was bent at the knee, and he was tagged before the right leg came across the plate, but that heel did come down. So an RBI for Torreyes. It's 2-0 Yankees.
And again, a great job by Gardner getting out there and letting the base runner know where to slide. He can see the throw coming. He can see where the catcher's setting up.
Pitch inside, 1-0.
Another look. Brett Gardner pointing to the front side of the plate.
Now I'm curious, John, did he really slide to the side that he was saying? Because it was still kind of toward the inside. Yeah, I'm figuring if he touched home plate with his right hand, he would more be following Gardner's instructions.
He tried to with his body. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he had more room to go that way. He probably had a tough time creating an angle to get there. But,
gotcha.
And there's so many things going on when you're coming around third. You're trying to read the catcher where he's going to end up. A lot of times you're better off just looking at the on-deck batter because he sees where the throw is coming before you're going to read where the catcher is going. He could have gotten out to the inside part of the plate a little bit more, but he still was going in the direction Brett was leading him towards.
1-1. There's a strike. 1-2.
But the point is, for those kids out there, even though you're on deck, get there, help them out. It's a good fundamental heads-up baseball play by a guy who's on deck.
You know what, Al, you'll see, not to keep going on this, but you'll see on-deck hitters go out there kind of halfway. You know, Brett got all the way behind the plate, made sure he got a good angle on the read. It helps out.
1-2. Foul back.
And the pitch count now at 75 with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. All the bullpens being used in that 16-inning game last night. Obviously, pitch counts are going to be important. Bullpen, who's available, who's not. Long day with the 2 games.
And the error hurting the Red Sox and Porcello. Bogart booting the ball. Clint Frazier's ground ball. Cost him.
And that hit Gardner.
Porcello's not going to be happy about that.
And here comes Farrell as Porcello talking with Gabe Morales.
Well, if he actually did that, hitters have to make an attempt to try to get out of the way. I mean, that is the rule, but you don't ever see this ever called. Let's see if he stays in there. Yeah. I mean, if it, you know, that's the start of a swing. I don't know whether you're getting a 77-mile-an-hour pitch or 75-mile-an-hour pitch. It didn't look like Brett did much to get out of the way.
Trying to sell the fact that Gardner wanted to get hit.
It looks like he's starting to swing and then he's trying to hold up.
I don't think he did that on purpose.
I didn't see it that way either. I mean,
you think he wants to get hit on the wrist on purpose?
there is an ex-pitcher in this booth.
Look,
He doesn't
I wish
see
you
it
could see the
same way
look
we
on Leiter's face. So sad. Headley, who has
I mean, it wasn't 95. I'm not. I mean, look, he tried to make a swing, and I'm thinking of Craig Biggio. When I faced all those years, I hit him a bunch, and I used to get so mad at the home plate umpire because he made no effort to get out of the way, and at times because he wore that big elbow pad, he actually leaned in, and you never get the call. Do I think Brett tried it there? Probably not.
No, you do. Admit it. You think he tried it. Ground ball by Headley, fielded by Travis, flips to Porcello, and he works out of further trouble. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and the bases are left loaded. We're going to hose down Al. We'll come back bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Yanks.
providing state-of-the-art healthcare. The Yankees officially moved Michael Pineda to the 60-day DL today with a partial tear of the UCL. He'll have a second opinion this upcoming week. But guys, knowing that he is a free agent this year, you may never see him in pinstripes again. Just one of the many roster moves the Yankees made today, moving him over, and that obviously allowed a roster spot, bringing more guys up to give Joe Girardi some reinforcements in that bullpen with Caleb Smith and Domingo Germán.
It's certainly sad, Meredith, for Michael Pineda. He is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. This injury probably cost him tens of millions of dollars, and that's being on the conservative side. So a tough break for him, and it's not great for the Yankees either. This is a guy who gave them innings. But what it does do is it kind of frees the Yankees up in terms of decision making. Michael is such a tease when it comes to being a pitcher because he's so good at times and so frustrating at other times. What would the Yankees do during the free agency period? Would they keep this guy? Would they offer him all that money? Well, now that's not an issue. Popped up on the third base side. Headley will make the play for the first out.
Well, what's the posting? I mean, I think now it's moot because with the pending Tommy John, I'm with you.
But that would have been another decision they had to make. Would they have tendered him a $17 million post?
I'm sure if you were in a Yankee organizational meeting, right, and you had how many people around the table talking about this, you'd probably be split right down the middle. There'd be half saying, you know what, we can't do this, and the other half saying, wait a second, he's going to give innings, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He might figure it out. That would have been a tough decision. But I personally, as the ex-player, feel terrible for him to this point in his career where you're knocking on the free agent door, and you talk about him being inconsistent and all of that. Somebody would have given him a really nice contract.
And this is a guy who's come back from major shoulder surgery as well.
Missed 2 years.
And he'll get a deal from somebody. He'll get a deal almost like what Nathan Eovaldi got from Tampa Bay, where you pay him a little bit next year as he's rehabbing, and then you have a second year where, okay, let's see what you have. But it certainly will not be the money that he would get as a healthy free agent.
Well, he's 28 years old, so it's not like he's in the latter part. I still consider 26 to about 32, 34 even, depending upon type pitcher, still in your prime, if you will. And let's face it, guys. I mean, you know, the Tommy John epidemic, and I'll call it an epidemic because it's rampant all over the levels of baseball. I don't think clubs really view it as that big of a deal. I mean, yes, it's a loss, and yes, it's a surgery, and yes, you never know. But I mean,
it's a good gamble to take, right? To sign him to a contract and rehab him and see what you have on the back end.
The Yankees drafted, what, the 16th overall pick, University of South Carolina? Kid had Tommy John surgery. He was a #1 pick. What does that tell you?
Well, I understand what you're saying because they're betting on the long haul.
Right.
But no one's signing Michael Pineda to a $20 million a year contract, banking that he'll come back from Tommy John surgery. And it seems like Tommy John surgery now is almost a 2-year proposition. I mean, you look at Zach Wheeler, he missed 2 full seasons.
Something went right there. No. If you look at the rehab recovery now, it's now went from 18 months to 12 months. You're seeing many players get back a year later.
So if Pineda has surgery this week, you think he could get back by next July?
He will pitch next year. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
But how come we never heard that anything was wrong with Zach Wheeler other than coming back from Tommy John?
Well, you're using one example of a guy that's taken longer. Let's use Jose Fernandez, the late Jose Fernandez. It was a year. I mean, you look at Matt Harvey. I know he's had some other ailments, but he came back quickly. There's a lot of guys.
Strike to Bradley.
You guys are talking about the long term with Michael Pineda. How does it affect the Yankees short term? They thought they had it figured out as far as that starting rotation is concerned. They were going to use Brian Mitchell today and then Luis Cessa on Tuesday against the Twins. But now with CC Sabathia starting today, the Yankees right now do not know who is going to start tomorrow against Minnesota.
That one gets past Romine as Travis will go to second. I guess it all depends. I don't guess, Meredith, if they don't have to use Mitchell today in any game of the doubleheader, he'll start.
that seems to be the way they're going, but Joe Girardi would not rule anything out based on the way those first 2 games of this series have gone. Of course, Montgomery only lasted 4, so they relied heavily on the bullpen there, and then with the 16 innings yesterday, he's not ruling anything out.
Wild pitch moves Travis in the scoring position. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Bradley down on strikes again, not cashing in with a runner in scoring position.
2 for 46, right? Would you have it up
Yeah.
to 2 for 45? Amazing. I mean, we saw it as good as the Yankee pitchers were last night, as futile as the Red Sox have been hitting. And I think we've touched on it this series. I mean, really visibly, especially against the Yankees, how Big Papi is missed. I mean, a force, a scary guy. I mean, they're last in the American League in home runs, right?
There's a strike.
Al, I think about all those pitcher-catcher meetings that we've been through, and this guy is not beating us, right? Whoever it was in the lineup, and you look today, is it Benintendi? I mean, obviously Hanley Ramirez not in the lineup in the first game, but there's not that one hitter that you're like, I want no part of him.
Chopped right side. And again, the Red Sox don't get it done with a runner in scoring position. They strand 1. Travis at second. We go to the 5th. It's 2-0 Yanks. Well, thank you, Bob. Right here in the 5th inning, it's 2-0 Yankees. 2 unearned runs by the Yankees in the 4th inning. And that's the only scoring on the board. Porcello still on the mound. Will face Judge, Holiday, and Gregorius on the GMC scoreboard. 2-0 Yanks. And a strike. I'm wondering, because we've seen Judge struggle in the first 3 games of the series, and he could hit one onto Lansdowne Street right now. If he is fatigued, he's played almost every single game. Big guy, a lot of weight on his feet all the time, 272 pounds. And the All-Star break, which is a break for a lot of people, was not a break for Aaron Judge. Not making excuses for him, but John, I wonder if he's just feeling it a little bit as he drives one to right field. Betts is there and makes the play.
I 100% agree, because for a journeyman player like myself, the All-Star break was an opportunity to recharge, get ready for the second half. With all the things that he did in Miami, that wasn't a break. And then I'll throw something else on you. the first year that you go through a full season in the major leagues is a grind, not only physically but mentally, and that's for an average player. And you think about an Aaron Judge, all the requests for his time off of the field, interviews, all of that, it has to be overwhelming, and I'm sure there's some sort of fatigue physically, if not mentally as well, I would think.
And with the injuries the Yankees have had, as Holiday lost one to shallow right, and Bradley makes the play, they have not had an opportunity to give him time off. You know, Joe Girardi likes to rotate the outfielders, but when Aaron Hicks went down, Aaron Judge, every game, it was hard to take him out anyway. First half of the season, he's the best player in the American League. He was on his feet all the time playing. Again, he's 25. I know what the rebuttals are going to be, but you can't tell me he's not a little bit tired right now.
Of course, he's human, and it's a great job. It's a great life. But yes, yes, yes.
That one is driven deep to right field. Will it hook around the pole? Yes, it does. See ya. A home run for Didi. It is 3-0 Yanks.
Well, Didi had been struggling a little bit until that base hit last night in the 16th inning. A huge hit for him. He comes right back this afternoon. A base hit in the 4th. Now that home run, the 11th of the year, right around the pesky pole here at Fenway. Green Monster gets a lot of attention, and obviously for the right reasons, but the pesky pole for a lefty, you can hook it around there and keep it fair.
And the pitch to Frazier is outside. Coming right into your living room for a home run. Before he got a hit in the 16th yesterday that drove in the second run, the go-ahead run, he was 0 for 18. So he's 2 for 3 today. So sometimes it takes that one hit just to loosen up the pressure.
A huge hit last night. We talked about it earlier about what that game meant for the Yankees against Chris Sale, and to come out and prevail. And I think it's got to be a nice little boost carryover, right? Mentally,
no doubt. Porcello's going to have a little trouble now with the home plate umpire Gabe Morales. Obviously, he wasn't happy about the Brett Gardner getting hit by a pitch. Wondering where that one was. Right there, looked like a pretty good strike. Didn't get the call.
Grounded deep third. Fielded by Marrero. Off balance throw. Got him. Oh, what a play by Marrero. And Tony Pena pointing to the Yankee dugout to look at that on the replay.
Well, let's see if he gets his foot down quick enough. Sam Travis, first baseman, not much of a stretch. Well, looks like his toe is on there. Yes.
The Yankees will not challenge, so a great play by Marrero to take a base hit away from Frazier, but the Yankees get a run on the Gregorius home run. We're halfway through. It's 3-0 Bombers. Yankees 3 and the Red Sox nothing. CC Sabathia with 4 scoreless to start the game. He's at 59 pitches. The Yankees have said that he can go to about 95 today. Sandy Leon will lead off. 1-0. On Leon. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Red Sox order against CC and the Yankees. Foul at the foot of Leon. On this day in 1941, way back then, Joe DiMaggio extended his hitting streak to 56 straight games.
Today's the day.
Now, according to Major League Baseball's lead historian, John Thorne, the streak was broken at 56, and Joe DiMaggio told Phil Rizzuto, his teammate, that cost me $10,000 because Heinz ketchup, which has 57 varieties, they were going to give him 10 grand if he hit 57 straight games. 10 grand back in 1941.
Yeah. Wow.
And he was stopped by the Cleveland Indians, pitchers Al Smith and Jim Bagby. And he had 2 hard hit shots to third base. Ken Keltner made great plays on those shots to stop the streak at 56. But here's where it gets even more amazing, and it's really not talked about all that much. After he got the streak stopped, he hit in 16 straight more games. He hit in 72 of 73 straight games. And during the 56-game hitting streak, he hit 408 with 15 homers and 55 runs batted in. He was pretty good.
That'll never, ever be broken.
You don't think so?
No.
Why are you certain about that?
Oh my gosh, the specialty lefty, righty, 4 pitchers, 5 pitchers every night. You don't have a starter. We were joking earlier when guys would start once upon a time, they throw a whole game. If it was 10 innings, 16 innings, you had one guy. In the latter part of those games, I don't know how many of those games that he was hitless till his third at bat, or you were facing the starter.
John, you had a lengthy hitting streak in your career. How much pressure does it go the longer it goes?
Well, you feel the pressure, but you know I'm sitting next to the guy who ended the hitting streak.
Really?
So I'm going to move to your side of the booth.
So how many games?
27 games.
And he stopped it.
He stopped it.
So that's why you don't like me.
No, there's other reasons.
There's other reasons. There are a lot of reasons, but that was one of them. But you know what? It starts getting mental is what happens.
Let's see if the Yankees can turn 2. There's one on to first, not in time.
That broke the streak.
And I knew what was going to happen, right? He's going to pound cutters in. I had a couple of ground balls to the left side. Hot in Miami, so at the end of the game, to your point about facing relievers, I faced a reliever that day for my 4th at bat and was just toast. That was when I was with the Padres in National League.
I mean, that's legit.
But you start thinking about little things, like I remember I was wearing a pair of spikes through the whole streak, and I got one of them blew out. And one of our relief pitchers, Doug Bockler's like, you can't change your spikes. You got to keep wearing these even if they have holes in them. I'm like, you're crazy. I'm going to wear a new pair. That's when the streak ended.
Now, John, having hit in 27, can you even imagine DiMaggio at 56?
No. And I'm thinking I had days off in that streak too. And Al, that's why I was maybe going to come back at you that somebody might be able to do it. Because in today's game, players are resting more, right? I mean, so you can look at it both ways. You're swinging a hot bat, you want to be in there every day, but you also get days off so you stay a little bit fresher. Where's the graphic on the bottom saying Al Leiter stopped this thing?
John Flaherty.
375.
How about that?
There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Mookie Betts. Lynn around second. He'll go to third. Throw is cut off by Didi, who fires to Choi, who makes a nice play to save a run.
Mookie Betts such a good hitter, just staying inside and driving it the other way, and Lynn runs well. He's going to get to third. But Aaron Judge comes up firing right here. And this is an old school right arm, right fielder's arm. Nice play by Choi, keeping it in front.
And doesn't airmail it.
Yeah.
Firm throw, hits the cutoff. Didi almost threw it away there. Nice play by Choi.
There's a strike to Bogaerts. The hit by Betts just a second against Sabathia. So Lynn's at third. Betts is at first. He's a threat to run. And Sabathia ahead in the count 0-2.
Yeah, that's a good pitch right there. I always think of a left-handed pitcher, especially with CC. Still has enough. That 92-mile-an-hour. This ball is cutting in on Bogaerts' hands. That's a great ground ball pitch from a left-handed pitcher. Right-handed batters have to fight to get that barrel out. With the little tilt and that velocity, usually induces a ground ball.
Missed off the outside corner.
Good pitch, opening up home plate. It's a give-up pitch. You either want to be off the plate or ring him up on that backdoor breaking ball. That's a good take right there. That's the ground ball pitch right there. 93. CC getting a little extra right here with this trouble.
Two. Fouled away. Runner goes. Pitch fouled away.
See how important Sabathia feels this at bat is. 94 miles an hour, kind of letting it fly here. Trying to get the strikeout or a possibility of a double play ground ball.
There's a breakdown in pitches per inning. You had that third inning, just 9 pitches. 2-2. Fly ball shallow right, coming on Judge. He'll make the play. Tagging is Lynn, and the throw is up the line, and Lynn will head back to third. Well, the Red Sox scouting report on Judge is be careful, be very careful. We've seen it throughout this series.
And a strong, accurate throw, Michael. It's not just he's showing off his arm. This is nice play, big man, get to that ball. And as you say, they held him up wisely. Good, tough at bat. CC had to use all of his pitches against Bogaerts off of his front foot. Still strong throw, getting it into Romine. Big out. See how he stepped off his left throw, almost like a quarterback.
Almost threw it like a shortstop.
That's a 225-foot almost strike to Romine.
So here's Andrew Benintendi. A strike on the inside corner.
Nice pitch. Benintendi, lefty on lefty. Seeing him hammer some fastball, especially the left center. Watch this, pull the string in. These are the what I'm talking about. CC, couple different varying speeds on that breaking ball. Even though it'll show as a slider, but he throws at different velocities.
Hits 93 again on the gun. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. Yankees lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. First game of a day-night doubleheader. Yankees won 4-1 in 16 innings yesterday, last night. Now leading this one 3-0. Runner goes. Grounded and past the diving Choi, but foul.
Choi playing right on the line, not able to make the play. Always felt like you could jam the left-handed hitters here at Fenway Park with 2 strikes. Looking for the ball out over the plate. Try to flip one off of the Green Monster. You're Sabathia and you have that good 2-seamer and you believe in it, you can beat him inside. Going away. Think about all the great Red Sox left-handed hitters at Fenway. Wade Boggs. Mo Vaughn turned himself into an MVP playing here, learning how to hit the ball the other way.
Swing and a miss. And the Red Sox inability to get hits with runners in scoring position reaching epic proportions as CC Sabathia gets the job done. We go to the 6th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by CityMD. When you need a doctor, just walk into CityMD Urgent Care. And by People's United Wealth Management, ready to help you set tomorrow in motion. We go to the 6th inning, and Austin Romine will lead off against Rick Porcello. 1-0. Now with Matt Holliday's home run yesterday, the Yankees avoided being shut out and also ended up getting the win because of that home run. So 88 games to start the season. That's the 4th longest streak without being shut out to start a season by the Yankees. Without being shut out. The 1932 team won the entire year without being shut out. And the Yankees right now are the only team that has scored at least 1 run in every game. This was moments ago. Quite sure what they were doing there. Oh, breaking the dugout. And Romine is down looking. Well, right now, if he doesn't give up another run and he gets through this inning, this is another quality start for Rick Porcello because he hasn't given up an earned run. The 3 runs were all, well, 2 of the runs were unearned. The home run obviously was earned. So just 1 earned run so far and 5 1/3. Pitch to Choi is low, 1-0.
Who came up with that quality start?
I think it was John Lowe.
John Lowe, that's it, Detroit.
And if you think about it, a quality start is a guy who has a 4.50 ERA.
Who says? John Lowe.
Right, John Lowe.
You have a starter on your staff that's got a 4.5 ERA.
He's struggling a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
7 innings, 3 runs or less.
There you go.
That's a 3.5.
You're really feisty today. You stop a guy's 27-game hitting streak.
Didn't mean to. Well, maybe. Had I known him.
You thought that Brett Gardner tried to get hit on purpose.
No,
now
I
you're
didn't.
ripping John Lowe.
Well, let me ask you something. You've been covering baseball long, and John.
I've never liked the quality starts. That I don't get it. I mean, you've lessened what a great pitcher is.
Just give 1 more inning. Change it to 7, 3
But I don't
runs or less.
think you can never reach that anymore. The way pitch counts are. No, hardly anybody goes 7.
Thank you, Bill Bolin. As he just said, it would truly be a quality start.
I'm with you. I just don't have the power to change it, Al. And John, you play with the Tigers. John Lowe, one of the great gentlemen of all time.
Greatest guys ever.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad talking about this.
I'm not ripping
And
on
he
John
wears
Lowe.
the great hats, right? He's
Always
like the
wears a
all-time
nice
writer.
fedora, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I like John Lowe as well. Just make it 7 innings.
That one is drilled to right field. Going back is Betts. Looking up. And it bounced into the seats for a double. Over the head of Betts, and it's a good day for Choi. He's 2 for 2 with that sac fly as well.
Again, you talk about first base and the Yankees looking for some production. Choi is showing up today. Maybe a change up there. Got out front a little bit. Ball jumped off his bat. Bounce into the seats with sac fly and RBI. Couple of base hits now for Choi.
So Choi's at second. Here's Torreyes. Foul back. Austin Maddox, added to the roster before the game, is warming up. Grounded to short. Bogarts just gets Torreyes as Choi moves to third. So here's Gardner. Yankees up 3-0, top of the 6th inning. Breaking ball misses.
Again, Porcello looking into home plate umpire Gabe Morales. More high pitch. This is right down the middle. Get me over curveball. Yeah, it's high.
And pitch cast thought it was a ball. Want to send out best wishes to Craig Cartmel, who works on Debbie Timon's staff. Craig's a great guy and had been in the hospital for a week or so. He's back home, rehabbing, and we hope to see him at the stadium soon. Grounded to short. Bogarts gets Gardner, and they work around the double by Choi. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0 Yanks. An all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper recaps the All-Star break festivities, including Aaron Judge's huge home run derby win. Plus, Joe discusses his weekend showdown with the Red Sox. It's only on, yes, you know, when you're a broadcaster, it's supposed to be right down the middle. But
that's your Hawk Harrelson.
Put it on the board. But Meredith Morakovitz was rooting for the Yankees to win more than anybody in the ballpark yesterday, because she had to do a segment of the Joe Girardi Show at midnight with Joe Girardi. So imagine if they had lost that 16-inning game.
It wouldn't have been great, Michael. I'm not going to lie to you. But I will say he was in pretty good spirits despite the fact that it was late. And you could just tell he was mentally and physically exhausted from the day, already wondering what he was going to do with the doubleheader today as far as the pitching staff was concerned.
How much exponentially better is the show following a win or a loss?
Well, I would think a win, Michael. Anybody is a little bit happier after they win if they're the manager of the New York Yankees. I don't think he's going out there trying to lose.
But how much better is it after a win?
I would say it's definitely a little bit better after a win.
Well, we look forward to seeing this.
Well, Michael, like times in Kansas City where we go to get barbecue and he's flipping brisket, I don't think it matters if they win or lose. He's still having a good time there.
That's today after the postgame. Soft ground ball right side. Torreyes gets it to Choi, who gets Young. I used to do that show in its infancy, and it was a different show when they came off a tough loss. The last place he wanted to be.
Him or you?
The last place we wanted to be. Here's Travis. One and 0.
What a gem so far. CC, huh? 87 pitches, 2 hits.
I mean, now this is a guy who went 2 2/3 his last time. Couldn't get out of the 3rd inning, and didn't think he was going to be pitching today. How much of an adjustment that has to be, right? Just kind of on the fly, saying, "Okay, I'm taking the ball. Let's go." Don't have your normal routine.
I think how he handles it now as a guy in the latter part of his career is 180 degrees how you handle it as a young pitcher. Like, yeah, okay. I was in the pen last night in the 16th inning, and here I'm starting today, and supposed to start tomorrow in Minnesota. And it's because of pitches like that, John. I know you know this, but just watching CC, I really enjoy this. Yes, do I like watching 100 miles an hour domination, Betances or Chapman or any other guy that throws like that? But to watch CC evolve and really pitch well when he's on, and like he is today, it's all the pitches, changing speeds, using both sides of the plate.
Well, both managers got exactly what they needed. They could not afford to have a real short outing from their starters in this game following last night. So, although Porcello is trailing 3-0, he's given Farrell 6 innings and is ready to give more. Popped up, shallow center. Torreyes makes the play in front of Gardner for the 2nd out.
You watch Sabathia too. It's like he's going at this about 75%, right? I mean, it's just nice and easy in, nice and easy away. Take a little off, add a little on. Had to work a little bit in the 5th inning.
And what did he do? Elevated velocity. We saw some 93s and
93.
There's Jackie Bradley Jr. Now, we spoke earlier, Al, about the fact that CC doesn't seem like he really likes Bradley. Did you ever feel like that about a hitter? That there was a guy that he was up there, you just didn't like him?
There were lots.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, usually, I didn't like when guys, every time they missed a ball, they acted like they should have hit a home run. And it's so dumb. You know, the whole let a sleeping dog lie. I mean, why let a pitcher or a hitter have other reasons to want to, you know, take it to another level? And one of the things that bothered me, if you threw a 2-0, whatever, a hittable pitch, and the guy's yelling as he's running the first on a pop-up or a grounder.
Were there pitchers you didn't like, John?
There were a lot of them.
I mean, one's not on your own staff.
There were a lot of them. You know, you're reminding me of a plane flight when I was playing with the Yankees, and Derek Jeter went to Jeff Weaver and said, "What did you think of me when I was hitting?"
Right.
And asked him, "What do you think of me when I was like, we hated you, Weaver." You know, just the way he carried himself, right?
Right.
And then you get to know the guy and play with him, and you're like, wow, he's totally different than the way he acted out on the field when he was competing.
And that, I think that's really the impetus behind this, is that it's not about talent. It's not about whether a guy hit home runs off me. It was the way in which you behaved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we have a name?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
JF?
No. I feel bad now. I broke your streak. I think streaks are great.
Saw me in the lineup and said, "This is 3 easy outs, 3 times
Not
through."
true. Not true.
Tyler Clippard is up for the Yanks. Remember, they want to keep CC to 95. This is 97 right here. And he does it with a flourish as he strikes out Bradley. CC works a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. We'll try to get names from Al. Stick around. Should be fun. Oh, are we on? Oh, I'm sorry. Al, you want to bring that to the air or not?
No.
We go to the 7th inning, and Austin Maddox will take over for Rick Porcello. So Porcello has another one of those quality starts, but his team has not scored for him. And such stark contrast, John, the last year when they scored a boatload of runs.
Yeah, he's just going through one of those years. But again, now this is the 17th game in a row for Porcello. He has thrown at least 6 innings. And you see this will be the 3rd appearance for Austin Maddox.
Chase Headley has had 4 straight multi-hit games. He's 2 for 3 today. Now, you know Peter Hurt, Al, from the Elias Sports Bureau.
Yes.
We talked about quality starts being a 4.50 ERA. And he just tweeted this out toward me. He said the 4.50 example isn't realistic as Headley hits one to right field. Betts is there. 1 away. He said the average ERA in quality starts this season is 2.08. Last season it was 2.02. Now the literal quality start is 3 earned runs in 6 innings, but he's saying that once, a pitcher that's allowed to stay in that long, their ERAs, average-wise, this year is 2.08. So that's a really good pitcher.
Okay. All right. I see where he's going. So if a guy's dominating, he's doing the H scoreless.
Right.
Or maybe even a shutout. And that skews the 4.5 ERA for the guy to go 6 innings and 3 runs.
Right.
Porcello pitched a great game. Listen, he got the error that cost him the 2 runs in the 4th, and then, the solo home run by Didi. But it just so happens that he's facing a guy that's outpitched him. It's easy.
So Aaron Judge, who is 0 for 12 so far in the series and 0 for 3 today, a 1-1 count. Maddox steals. 1-2. Judge hitting .316, 30 homers, 66 runs batted in. Slow roller. This could break the offer. Maddox fields. It's a base hit for Judge. Well, it wasn't 459 feet, but that had to feel good for Aaron Judge.
Yeah, you see the little smile on his face. A grown man hit that ball, 6'7", and he's just out in front of the changeup and obviously smelling an infield hit. Gets down the line in good shape.
Is there a feeling of, what is the feeling? You number one down, you get a hit.
Well, you didn't do anything right, but you're taking the hit, right? You're taking, I can take a deep breath, but I'm also worried about how those legs felt running down the line after that long game last night, and you got it busted for an infield hit. Fatigue is definitely a factor, going to be a factor in both of these games.
One and one. Three nothing Yankees. First game of a day-night doubleheader. You win this game. Not that you want to settle, but you win this game, and you are short of a split. Not just a doubleheader, but in the 4-game set. Obviously, you want to get greedy. After losing that first game, you want to take 3 out of 4. But with the things that have been going on, the blown save on Friday, the 16 innings yesterday, if you got out of Dodge, taking 2 out of 4, not that you sign up for it, but I don't think you feel defeated.
Well, I think if you're Joe Girardi also, this team has been answering questions and challenges and big series all year, but to lose that game Friday night, to grind out a win yesterday afternoon into last night was pretty impressive. And you want to build on that here this afternoon and tonight.
And Sabathia has really stepped up, gave them the outing that they so desperately needed. Now they'll get the final 9 outs, they hope, out of the bullpen, but Sabathia, you could not ask for more. Are you getting greedy? You want one more inning out of him?
I do.
Yeah?
I think he's been absolutely dominating. I know he's got 95 pitches. I mean, he hasn't shown one bit other than that 1 inning where he got in a little trouble first and third.
Bogarts makes the catch to retire Holiday, who's 0 for 4.
I just think back to what Meredith told us that Joe Girardi was saying, 95 pitches, that would probably be it. So if you're a manager and you go out on the record and say that, and you get 6 shutout innings.
I know. And my heart, it's coming from a guy who, you come into a game, you don't know what to expect, you hope for the best, you're dominating through 6. I mean, really, honestly, we're watching this, right? I mean, he's made it look easy. I probably would be greedy to try to get 7, try to get to Betances.
Yeah, the bottom of the order coming up, 7, 8, 9 for the Red Sox.
That one's popped up. Marrero in foul territory will make the play. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at Fenway Park. Yankees lead 3-0, but will stay right here as they honor America in Boston.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Sox Foundation helps make dreams come true for the families of New England. Each game you aid in these life-changing efforts by supporting the 50-50 raffle. This afternoon's winning numbers are now posted on the center field video board. And now, before Josh Cantor leads us in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," we ask you to please rise. Here to perform "God Bless America," please welcome 14-year-old Lauren Missy Bridgewater.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies.
They're giving him runs. Time for the game summary here, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-10-0 for the Yankees, 0-2-1 for the Red Sox. They could not do much against Sabathia. If they had the opportunities, couldn't come up with a big hit. He did walk 5, but just allowed 2 hits. Rick Porcello, 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, just 1 earned, the CC home run. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 6. And then you have G-Man Choi and Ronald Torres, each with RBIs. And we told you about Didi's home run around the pesky pole. Pinch hitter for the Red Sox, Brock Holt, against the new Yankee pitcher, Tyler Clippard. Was that a shot of Clippard through the legs of Brian Butterfield? Cadillac scoreboard, 3-0 Yankees. The 0-1. Squib down the third base line. Grabbed there by Headley. It'll be a base hit. Headley's dive actually, in all likelihood, saved the double.
Brock Holt coming out of the box knew it was going to be a base hit. Was actually making a turn, thinking about a double, and you're right. Chase Headley going to his right. He lays out, able to at least knock it down. Double play in order.
Just to put a bow on what Sabathia did, in his last 5 road starts now, he has a 0.64 ERA. Opponents hitting 192 against him.
Wow.
Here's Sandy Leon against Clippard. Skied the other way, foul. Clippard came on in yesterday's game, and he was the first reliever after Severino. A lot of leadoff single, but then that runner, Zue Lin, was caught stealing. Got a pop up to short off the bat of Betts, and Pedroia humpback line drive to second. Popped up. Choi with the call on the catch. 1 away.
Yeah, that's the pitch right there. Tyler Clippard, you mentioned, Michael, his scoreless inning in the 8th in yesterday's game. Just the Yankees trying to get Tyler Clippard back to feeling good and productive. This is a hanging changeup upstairs. Sandy Leon swinging at a ball. And he's on. Tyler's got that great arm speed and good changeup. Chad Green getting ready.
Well, the cheer you hear in the background is not for Chad Green. They're sending Dustin Pedroia up to pinch hit for Zue Lin. So Pedroia, veteran, played all 16 in yesterday's game. He'll play the second game, but now pinch hits here in the 7th inning of game 1. This doubleheader became a reality. Yankees' first trip into Boston, there was a rain out, so they turned this into a day-night doubleheader. Holt was just activated today. He's the 26th man on the roster because of the doubleheader. Came off a 60-day DL with vertigo. He had 24 rehab games, 4 with Portland, 20 with Pawtucket, and really didn't hit that well. 18 for 82, 220. And if you've ever had vertigo, it is such a debilitating thing. It's awful.
Have you had it?
Mm-hmm.
I've had it too.
Swing and a miss. I mean, just picture on some of the big nights you had after a big start, you might have had too much to drink. That's your whole life is like that. Your head's spinning, the room is spinning. You can't keep your balance. It's terrible.
Mine was not quite as severe as that.
Wow.
Nor as severe as Holt to be put on the shelf for that long.
Well, two guys that I think of back in the day, and I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick Kasaski. Remember when he,
yes.
I mean, ruined his career. Signed a big contract with the Braves, I believe. And then I got a chance to play with Ken Daly with the Blue Jays, and it ruined the rest of his career.
And as great a hitter as Lou Piniella was, if you take a look on Baseball Reference at the one bad year he had with the Yankees, he suffered from vertigo and played through it. That whole year, just couldn't hit. 2-2. Grounded to Headley. He's going to take the out at first as Holt moves to second.
Well, it's been the story of this series. Runners in scoring position. The Red Sox just not able to get the job done. Big double play right there. Sabathia making a nice athletic play and a good throw to home plate to cut down the runner. First and third. Benintendi, a nasty slider from Sabathia, making the big pitch when he had to.
And here is Mookie Betts with a runner at second. 2 men out. So CC now has allowed 2 runs or fewer in 7 of his last 9 starts against the Red Sox, which makes you wonder, why wasn't he penciled in to start this series anyway? Because he really was supposed to start tomorrow. Now, they gave him a warning after Friday's game. It could happen, but the original rotation for this 4-game set, CC was not pitching. He was going to pitch against the Twins. I don't know. One-0. Right to Reyes. And once again, the Red Sox cannot get the big hit. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 7 in the books. Scoreless inning for Clippard. It's 3-0 Yanks. Up in the Midwest for a showdown with Miguel Sano and the Minnesota Twins. Start your game day at 7:30 with the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then, Ryan Rucco and John Flaherty have the call right here on Yes, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. A little bit of a rematch of the Home Run Derby finale. Aaron Judge against Miguel Sano. Brock Holt is at third base, and Pedroia is at second as we start the eighth. Maddox in for his second inning of work, and Frazier fouls back the first pitch. Hyundai scoreboard 3-0 Yankees. Now, we were talking about Sabathia and why he would be penciled in against the Twins and not the Red Sox. So he has good numbers against the Red Sox, but he also has very good numbers against the Twins. So I guess they decided, well, I'm going up against the Twins. It's strange, though, because these numbers are probably accrued against teams that don't even exist anymore. The Twins are a completely different team than the one that CC won games with the Indians against.
Plus, it's against the Red Sox.
Right.
You're opening up the second half.
Yeah, huge series.
Yeah, it's a huge series. Not that every series isn't big, but this is, I gotta believe it's obviously bigger than a Twin series.
They could have pitched him on Friday, and then he would have faced both teams. Two. 3-2 on Frazier. Clint Frazier picks up his second hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 4, also reached on an E6 and scored a run.
Frazier kind of hangs back on a changeup here, and if you watch Maddox pitch, it's fastball, changeup. Pretty good velocity, about 97, and a decent changeup. And this is out over the plate and down a little bit. And Clint Frazier just hooks it in the hole.
There's Austin Romine. It's been 20 straight innings that the Red Sox have not scored against the Yankees. And you can't just hang it on one guy. But we've mentioned this, and the Red Sox have mentioned it, so we're certainly not taking a giant leap. The absence of the threat of David Ortiz is just humongous. I mean, he always seemed to be coming up every inning against the Yankees. Fly ball, right field. Betts back, still back, battling the sun. That's a nice play by Betts to retire Romine.
Yeah, there was always the middle of the lineup fear, and Big Papi was always in the middle of it. And this team doesn't have the same home run production. And they didn't just lose an aging all-star player in Ortiz. He batted .315. He had 38 home runs, 127 RBIs. I mean, he was the Red Sox there the last however many years.
Alan, and this is not to take a shot at all, but what a difference a year makes. And I know it's the first game of a doubleheader, but the cleanup hitter for the Red Sox is Chris Young today. I mean, that's a big difference. And when people talk about the Red Sox maybe being the team to beat in the American League East now, I think they're talking about their starting pitching. They're not talking about their offense getting them there.
You wonder if they're going to go out, maybe get a third baseman. Todd Frazier's name has been thrown around. But how about the Tampa Bay Rays? We're here talking Yankees, Red Sox, right? And they just keep winning games.
top 3 teams in the East, they all have had John Flaherty play for them. The 2 teams that you didn't play for, they're 4th and 5th.
What's your point? Where are you going with this?
I just think that there's something to having people like you on the team. It's a winning attitude.
About time for me to get to Minnesota with Ryan Ruocco, I think.
1-2 on Choi.
But to your point, Mike, I mean, it's so hard to handicap baseball, really. I mean, Tampa Bay, you always liked their pitching. Who thought Corey Dickerson and Lomo was going to do what they're doing?
Snap throw to first, and Frazier's back. And John mentioned the rumors here about Todd Frazier of the White Sox. For the longest time, it almost was looked at as a fait accompli that the Red Sox would get Mike Moustakas, but the Royals kind of put a fly in the ointment by contending. You know, why would you trade Moustakas now? And their organization said they're going for it. They're going to be buyers. This could be their last chance because there'll be no Hosmer next year, no Moustakas, no Kane, no Escobar. That's 4 of your starters.
And it's significant for a low revenue, low payroll team like Kansas City and other cities that can't afford the big payroll because of the way the compensation has changed. Meaning they used to get a supplemental between first and second round if you lost your free agent. It's a lower pick that clubs lose now. So it actually behooves teams, if you don't think you're in it, to actually get something for your pending free agent. They got 5 of them. That's a good changeup right there by Austin Maddox.
Who's the 5th one that I missed?
Let's see. So you got
Kane,
Vargas.
Escobar. Oh, Vargas. Okay.
Yeah. Vargas having a heck of a year, all-star year, the pitcher.
Here's Ronald Chirias. Swing and a miss. Grounded in the hole and off the glove of Holt. Frazier picks it up quickly and heads to third. Good base running. No one was at third base, so a base hit for Torreyes, first and third for the Yanks.
Yeah, Torreyes getting back on track this afternoon. Already had a base hit and RBI. Now he's going to pick up another base hit. Brock Holt going in to play third base. Just off of his glove going to the left. Bogart's going to his right. The ball scoots into left field, and a good read by Frazier. You're right, Michael. Play right in front of him. To get himself to third base and have a chat with Joe Espada.
And John Farrell's going to take the ball from Maddox. He's going to call on a left-hander. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and Brett Gardner due up. Yankees up 3-0. against the Red Sox in the first 7 games of the year. This is game number 8, but their starting pitchers, wow, 4-1, a 1.53 ERA. They've allowed just 4 home runs, and the Red Sox hit 174 against them, striking out 36 times. And CC just added to that. So the ERA is updated. Obviously, the wins and the losses not. We wait to see if the Yankees can get the final 6 outs, and if they can add on any right here. Fernando Abad comes on. Gardner 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. Breaking ball, a strike. And a strike. Frazier's at third. Torreyes is at first.
Let's see if the Yankees try to steal a run here. You send Torreyes. 0-2 count on Brett Gardner against a left-hander.
There he goes. Strike 3. Gardner down looking. So Abad comes on and does the job. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees still up 3-0. Post-game, get a complete recap of today's game along with reaction from the clubhouse, plus Bob Loren sets the table for game 2 of this doubleheader. That's all coming up only on Yes. Yankees have 6 more outs to nail this one down. Tyler Clippard pitched the 7th, didn't allow a run, and now they turn to Chad Green, who pitched so well on Friday. And even with the Chapman meltdown on Friday, in the last 4 games, 0.46, 28 strikeouts in 19 and 2/3 innings, have not allowed an extra base hit. Opponents hitting 159 against them. And yesterday, the Yankee bullpen 9 shutout innings. So here's Green. Now the only worry with Green is now they're going to start using him more often. This guy's a starter by trade, and he's transitioning into the bullpen where he's been highly effective. And they've tried to stay away from him using or getting to baseball 2 times out of 3 days. That's what today is. Second time I'll have it.
Oh, yeah, but it was hard, right? I mean, 2 innings in the Friday night's game, 5 strikeouts.
Popped up. Headley retires Bogarts. Now, because he's going to be pitching higher leverage innings, Joe said he might just transition to a one inning reliever. If he does that, then he should be able to pitch more often, maybe 2 days in a row. Now, Girardi also said today he does not want to use any pitchers twice. Like, anybody who pitches the first game will not pitch the second. And he said he would consider using Betances and or Chapman, which would be their 3rd straight day being used. And there's a strike to Benintendi.
Well, I'm interested to see Green and how he reacts after the 2 innings Friday night, the day off yesterday, and that fastball velocity at 96. That's what impressed me Friday night, just pouring it on the outside corner. He looks pretty fresh to me.
He threw 20 pitches, 10 were strikes. Had to be more than that. 5 punch-outs.
The Fast Pitch Speed Analytics brought to you by Fios, and it brings you a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Chad Green.
You know, Al, there are pitchers, I look at them mechanically and I say they're a max effort guy. I don't see that with Green.
Swing and a miss. Benintendi down.
It's very simple mechanically and just drives the ball through the outside corner at 97. Able to repeat his delivery.
Yeah, there's arms and legs and grunting, and I'm with you, John. I think Chad Green just shows a smooth, easy, late kind of pull down, or what you call a pull down in a delivery.
So here's Mitch Moreland pinch hitting for Young.
So if it is 1 inning, Michael, I said 20 pitches. He threw 30 pitches Friday night. 20 were strikes. Of his 6 outs, 5 strikeouts. I mean, just complete domination. And yes, there is a transition to being able to throw every other day, or in some cases every day for a reliever, especially if you've only been a starter. But if he is a 1 inning guy, you know, these guys play catch every day, and albeit it's catch, you firm, maybe you stand on the bump once in a while and get a little easy side.
Now, my big question, because you have another game to play, if Green coasts through this inning, and he's not going to be pitching tomorrow anyway, why wouldn't you let him pitch the 9th inning, close it out?
As long as he doesn't throw too many pitches here, right? Only 9 so far. I'm with you.
So the count 2-2 on Moreland, pinch hitting for Chris Young. Crowd of 37,343 taking to doing the wave. So another sellout at Fenway. Three-two. And Moreland walks. So here's Travis. Count 1-0. Got that fastball by him. Two-one count on Travis. Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. Moreland leads off first. Yankees lead 3-0. 3-1.
That's a smooth and easy delivery that Chad Green has. You know, you just kind of get in that spot. A couple little sliders off the plate. I like the sequence calling from Austin Romine. Use that slider. That's perfect.
97 miles an hour. Foul back.
It's a luxury, right? You have a 3-run lead, runner at first. You can go 3-2, fastball right down the middle. Challenge Travis. That good fastball, knowing one swing of the bat is not going to beat you. Obviously, if you're Chad Green, you'd love to dot it on that outside corner like he did Friday night. He's done this afternoon a little bit.
Moreland will go 3-2. Foul back.
If you're Austin Romine behind the plate, just want to make sure there's a strike thrown, whether it's a slider or the fastball.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 3-2. It's high. So just like that, Jackie Bradley Jr. comes up as a tying run. Couple of 2-out walks by Green.
If you're Austin Romine, you put down the slider. You're trusting it's going to be thrown for a strike, and it didn't miss by much.
Yeah, I like the call. I really do. And I like what Austin Romine does, especially if you get out of sorts a little bit. Look, Chad Green's got an electric fastball. The slider's more of a cutter for me. That ball is upstairs slightly. Let's see, above the belt. Yeah, more letter high. You don't get that in today's game. Wow. That pitch cast made it look a lot closer. Overall, Major League umpires don't call that pitch when it's above the mask of the catcher.
Bradley was 0 for 3 against Sabathia. Now facing Green as a tying run. Pitch. 0-1. Oh and 2. 97 miles an hour. This season against the Yankees, 2 for 50 with runners in scoring position. This series, 2 for 30. Count 1-2. Yankees have 12 hits and the Red Sox have just 3. 1-2. 2-2. And Romine wants to talk with Green.
I like the fastball. I just don't like it down. Elevate belt or above, or throw that slider to his back foot. I just worry about that fastball down.
And he has a slider that's more of a cutter, so that down and in break to a lefty.
Dangerous.
Stay away here. Trust it.
2-2. Swung on and missed. He got him. 2 for 51 against the Yankees this season with runners in scoring position. 2 more strikeouts for Green. None bigger than this as we go to the 9th. Season's playoff foe, Toronto FC, at home in the Bronx. And yes, has all the action kicking off at 7:30, presented by Etihad Airways. Then on Saturday, NYCFC is back for a clash with the Chicago Fire, with coverage starting at 2 right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We go to the 9th inning. New pitcher for the Red Sox is Brandon Workman. And he'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Yankee order. Yankees are up 3-0, and up in the bullpen is Aroldis Chapman. So Headley first for Workman. And a strike. Headley's 2 for 4. We mentioned earlier he has 4 straight multi-hit games now. There's Chapman. This will be his 3rd straight game. And there's a strike. You used to see, when you read the history books, so many teams had doubleheaders. They played so many doubleheaders during the season. We just told you about 1927. Yankees had back-to-back doubleheaders against the Red Sox. But they're such killers in this day and age, the way pitchers are used. Because even if you somehow get through a doubleheader, let's say you use Chapman in this game and Betances in the next one. Well, neither one is available tomorrow against the Twins. Now, the 16-inning game yesterday certainly didn't help, but the stringent rules that managers have about using pitchers and the amount of days that they could use them and the amount of pitches, a doubleheader really puts you up against the wall. Swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes.
Well, I just wish there were more managers that were more inclined to have the gut to stick with the starter. than the proverbial 100 pitch. I've got to make a move and mix and match all the time. And that's rampant in baseball, based on metrics and stats and batting average against. And
see, that would be my answer to you, Al. You said you wish that a manager would have the guts to do that. But, I mean, everything is dictated from research and from the front office. We don't want you to let this guy throw more than 110 pitches.
Okay.
If you're doing that, you're going up against your front office.
All right, I'm not saying be defiant and get fired for it, but I think that there's starting pitchers that can easily go the extra inning and the extra out and give me another batter.
Yeah, but the guys with the slide rules don't think that.
Yeah, it's more of an argument for the front office guys than for the managers.
I think the managers would love to keep a guy out there for 125
yeah, no,
pitches.
I agree. I don't think it's that. I just think that, well, this is what we have. You have more innings, or a lot more innings from relievers nowadays than once upon a time. And I'm not talking about the 60s or the 70s.
Not everybody could be like you, Al, and throw 162 pitches in the game.
Listen, I wasn't that good. I had moments, but I'm just telling on my own personal experience that my troubles were generally early in the game. And once I kind of got in a rhythm with my catcher, I kind of knew what was working. I knew what the umpire was calling. That 5th, 6th, 7th inning, I felt good. So, like, the number might have said 110, 112, 117, whatever the number was. But the eyeball said, this guy's locked in.
Judge with a high fly ball to right. And Betts comes in quickly to make the play. Tough time of day. And I think the sun got him there just for a moment.
You see Shields. He's got the glasses on, uses the glove, then finally picks it up and is able to make up the ground. And shakes his head afterwards. Tough play.
I know it was
Holiday swings and
I know it
misses.
was more of a liner, but that reminded me of Pinella's play
Pinella, I was
back.
just thinking that.
Yeah, right. Lost it in the sun.
Jerry Army hit it.
Yeah.
And Workman quickly up on Holiday, 0-2. Holiday's 0 for 4 today. Did he go? No.
Well, he didn't swing. Looked like a close pitch.
Chopped up the middle, Pedroia. Guns down Holiday, and the Yankees go down in order. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last licks for the Red Sox against Aroldis Chapman. of the doubleheaders on ESPN doesn't mean that we let you wade through without us. No, no, no. After the game, turn to yes for Yankees Extra Innings post-game coverage. Chris Sheeran's back in the studio to recap all the action of Game 2 of this doubleheader and the wrap-up of the set with the Red Sox. It's only on yes, so make it a point. Boom, game's over, turn to yes. That's the way it works. And when this game is over, Bob Lorenz has the post-game, and Meredith will work the clubhouse. And she'll be working the clubhouse for both. All right, so Aroldis Chapman will come on and try to nail this down. He blew the save on Friday. He worked a scoreless inning yesterday. And now back on the mound. So if there was any thought that maybe he was out of rhythm because he wasn't being used that much, well, now this is the third day in a row. And Brock Holt is going to lead off. He pinch hit in the 7th inning and picked up an infield single down the third baseline. And the pitch is low. There's a strike. Hanley Ramirez has come out on deck. He will pinch hit for Leon. And a strike. Through the slider.
There was a lot of talk about that after Friday night's outing, all fastballs. He dropped a real good slider in there to get ahead in the count 1-2.
Now when the Reds signed him, they signed him as a starter, so he has an array of pitches. Now he sits with the fastball because it's been so dominating, but as Joe Girardi explained before yesterday's game, everybody throws hard now. So hitters are on that pitch, and there aren't as many swings and misses, so he does have to incorporate the other pitches. And he throws the slider there. 2-2 on Holt. Grounded, short, backhanded, Gregorius fires to first, one away.
Yeah, I think we've come so accustomed to see Aroldis Chapman. He came into the league with the Reds and then eventually obviously with the Yankees with the little shortstop last year with the Cubs. But I hear you, and I think it's, yes, there's very few pitchers that could throw with one pitch unless it's some nasty split finger, what Mariano did with the cutter. Joe makes a good point. I mean, you know, we watch in, night out of guys that we've barely heard of. Austin Maddox comes in this game throwing 97, 98. Truthfully, I didn't know anything about him. I was kind of surprised. So velocities are up across baseball, no question.
Pitch inside to the pinch hitter Ramirez. That fastball was 100 miles an hour.
Hanley has no intention of swinging a bat, or on that pitch he didn't. Make Chapman throw the ball over the plate.
Did that distract you, Al, when a guy was clearly not swinging?
Yes. Yeah, like if they totally gave up,
right?
You know, you're halfway through your motion and you see a guy literally relaxing his shoulders. All you have to do is throw a strike, and that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be cute here. I just want to just put it right down the middle.
And he was taking there too. He's taken 4 straight pitches without any intention of swinging. Now he's arguing with Gabe Morales. He didn't think that was a strike. Why would you give away 4 pitches?
Well, you want to get a strike, right? They're down by 3. And this ball, you see right where Austin Romine, as soon as he pulls the glove in, I mean, that's really close, but shows that it's a ball.
But what's he doing now? I mean, no intention of swinging 2-1.
Strike 3, and he didn't take the bat off the shoulder. He can complain all he wants. That strikeout's on him.
I just don't get it. I mean, is he just thinking that Chapman can't throw me 3 strikes? He had no intention of swinging the first 2.
Well, he wasn't going to get any favors. You complain at all to an umpire, and there's a borderline pitch here. This ball looks borderline down. Probably a ball low. I mean, that's close.
But the whole point is he had no intention of swinging the first 4 pitches. So as John said, does he go up there thinking that Chapman can't throw on 3 strikes?
No, you're going to take a strike. So it was 2-0. He took the first slider. That next one, I'm with you, John.
Yep. I have no problem taking the first one, down by 3. The next one, a 2-1 count, and you're just standing there. I mean, that very strange.
And maybe that's one of the reasons that the umpire called it a strike. You weren't even prepared to hit. Last chance for the Red Sox. Pedroia, the 0-1 is a strike. 0-2. The Yankees a strike away from taking the first game of this day-night doubleheader. The 0-2. Pedroia stays alive. Pedroia pinch hit in the 7th inning and grounded to Headley. Zue Lin had started the game at second. One and 2. Chapman deals the 1-2. Spoiled and fouled back. 101 miles an hour.
Well, this is what Dustin Pedroia has been doing all his whole career, right? He just gets in there and battles and grinds and doesn't seem to worry about mechanics very often.
Chapman in for the 3rd game in a row, trying to close it out. And the 1-2. Line drive into right center. The Red Sox are still alive. A base hit for Pedroia. Judge gets the ball in. So a 2-out single. And back to the top of the order in Mookie Betts.
Well, Joe Girardi talked about Chapman having to throw his slider more. He actually throws a changeup here. Pedroia just stays down and through it and drives it to right center field. A changeup at 90 miles an hour. Keeps this inning going.
There's a strike. See Shreve up in the bullpen for the Yanks. This will be the 20th pitch for Chapman. 1-2. Pedroia leads off first. 2 men out. Bottom of the 9th. Yankees 3, Red Sox nothing. And the pitch. Grounded to second. This should do it. Torreyes to first, and the Yankees win 3-0. They get off the mat after just an excruciating loss on Friday night. They tied the game in the 9th inning yesterday, 4-16, and they win that 4-1. CC Sabathia gives them outstanding 6 innings of work, and then the bullpen has now gone 12.